Yo, Married at First Sight Australia, Season 13, Episode 13. We got the commitment ceremony. Two of the couples leave the experiment. One of the brides, she gets up and does a run, leaving her groom heartbroken on the couch. Yo, it gets messy. Let's talk about it. Married at First Sight Australia, Kylie Minogue, Hugh Jackman, Iggy Azalea. We got singles whose dating life's been a failure. Let's meet them. We got Rachel, we got Steven, we got Alissa, David, Julia. We got Chris and Grace and Juliet. Another Chris and Rachel, Gia. We got Becca, Rebecca, Philip and Stella, Brooke, Mela, Luke, Joel. Who else do we got? Steve. Danny and Scott. The drama's a lot, but there's love to be found. Stephanie Tyson, we holding it down. Bounce. This the recap. Grab a drink, get a savory or a sweet snack, and sit back as we unpack what happened, like back to back. Let's go, bro. So in the last episode, we witnessed the most uncomfortable, toxic dinner party of all time. We had Brooke, Gia, and Beck popping off, being mean, disrespectful, mocking, throwing insults and hurtful comments across the table, mostly directed at Stella and Alissa. And at the start of this episode, we're still dealing with those effects. We check up on Alissa. Yo, it really got to her, man. Homegirl pretty much cried herself to sleep. David was just there trying to comfort her, like, hey, it's okay, baby, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. And she goes, I was able to put up a front and act like the whole thing didn't affect me in front of the group, but that was vicious. I'm not putting myself through that again. We check in on Stella and Philip, and Stella's who I want to be when I grow up, okay? Because she got attacked a lot more than Alissa, but she's with Philip chilling, not a single tear in sight, and she says this, she goes, I don't give power to people who antagonize me in any way, shape, or form. If I lower myself to your standard, I've lost. Woo! Words to live by, Stella. Words to live by. Now, Alissa's not the only one in the trenches. She's not the only one. Danny and Beck, they're also going through it. Because remember in the last episode, Brooke and Gia told Beck that during a night out, when they were having drinks, Danny got a bit sloshed. And he told Gia she was his type. That she was the type of girl he would go for if they were out in the real world. And when Beck heard that, she just spiraled. Because that's been like her biggest insecurity, that Danny doesn't find her as attractive as she finds him. I remember in that one episode, I think Beck was chatting to Rebecca and she was like, I think a girl like Gia would be more of Danny's type. So clearly she's had that niggling little thought at the back of her head like, yo, my husband would rather clap Gia's cheeks than mine. So she's super upset. But Danny's flipped the whole thing. He's flipped it. He's the one upset. He's upset at Beck for the way that she reacted, how quick she was to believe Gia and Brooke. Listen, we don't know if Danny said anything to Gia. We don't know. But I think it's possible. It's possible because Danny got jokes. And we all got guys like Danny in the friend group. You know what I'm saying? And when they get a little tipsy, they get a bit flirty, a bit innuendo-y, Ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Because we've seen it. If you get like a girl working in a male-dominated workplace, everybody's respectful, they treat her like one of the guys. She's one of us. She's one of the fellas, you know what I'm saying? But when everybody goes out for drinks, everybody gets tipsy, at least one of those fellas is gonna start saying some super thirsty stuff, okay? So it's possible, okay? And for all we know, he could be one of those guys who gets so wasted, they don't remember what they said or did. I have homies like that. They straight up forget portions of the night. And it's like that movie, The Hangover. And you're telling them what went down. And they're like, no, I did what? For real? See, I don't have that. I've never had that. I remember everything, but I'm a lightweight. So usually I'm the dude tapping out, you know what I'm saying? And the room spinning. I'm in the bathroom. So, it's possible he said it, okay? It's possible he said it and he can't remember. So he's technically not lying to Gia. Now, you can see Beck kind of swaying, kind of leaning into the whole, Gia made the whole thing up. She made it all up to destroy my relationship with Danny. But I don't know. Because Gia, initially, she didn't want to expose Danny. Because apparently her and Brooke had spoken about it like, girl, you won't believe what Danny just said to me. And this was off camera. remember, right? Just between them, it was Brooke who was trying to hurt Danny by bringing it up. And Gia the whole time was like, nah, just leave it, Beck. It's not worth it. Leave it. Beck had to practically beg Gia, like, yo, I want to know. I want to know what he said. So the whole Gia made this up to destroy their relationship narrative, it's not the one. Alright, so moving on to the commitment ceremony. So, you know the deal. The three experts, Alessandra, Mel, and John, they bring up the couples one at a time and they see how they're getting on. And at the end of their chat, they decide if they're gonna stay or if they're gonna leave the experiment. First up, we got Alissa and David. And Alissa addresses what went down at the dinner party. She says, look, I'm embarrassed, okay? She doesn't want to be in the same room with half of the women in the experiment. She talks about how much it rocked her. And David backs her up, like, yo, I know that she comes across as tough and loud, but really she's super sensitive and she was up all night and I had to pick up the pieces. They cut to Brooke and she's sitting there shaking her head like, as if Alissa and David are overreacting or making the whole thing up. Yo, I swear to God, Brooke's a piece of work, bro. Beck immediately jumps in, owns it. Like, yo, the way I acted last night was horrible. It was unacceptable behavior, and it will not happen again. I mean, credit where credit's due. It sounded like a genuine apology, and I see Beck as a pawn. You know what I'm saying? She's a pawn. She was so desperate to fit in with the cool girls that she kind of lost herself a little bit. Apart from the dinner party drama, Alissa and David seem to be doing okay, so they both decide to stay. Next up, we got Mel and Luke, okay? And it's like night and day, man. They seem to have turned it all around, baby. They are like, hey, we're in a much better place. They are moving in together again. But listen, I still don't trust Mel. I'm sorry, I still don't trust her. I just don't know if she's putting on an act. I just don't know. But hey, hopefully I'm wrong, okay? Hopefully I'm wrong. When it's decision time, they both decide to stay. Okay. Next up, we got Rebecca and Steve. And the experts go in on him. They call him out for deflecting and trying to reframe everything. Rebecca seems broken and sad because, yo, she came on this show to find love. Her son, her close friends, they were all at the wedding. Everyone was so optimistic and it just ended up being a waste of her time. They both write down leave and we get to say goodbye to Steve and Rebecca. Next up, we got Grayson and Julia. And yo, they are in a good place. You know, they're all smiley. The vibes are vibing. Hey, they might be hope for these two yet, you know. Side note, how fluffy and cuddly does that sweater thingy that Grayson's wearing look? Yo, and I love the color too. I might get it, man. I might go online and get me one. Do you reckon I'd look good in it? Do you reckon I'd like pull it off? Like, what do you think? So these two, they're doing good, man. Apparently, they had a pash, which I'm guessing is like Australian slang for like a kiss. Because in the last episode, Rachel described her kiss with Steve as a pash, okay? Like, we had a bit of a pash. Listen, my Australian homies, let us know in the comments. Is pash slang for a kiss? Is it a specific kind of kiss? Like, is pash short for passionate? Can you combine them? Like, hey, that was a pash kiss. Or is it just like a pash, just like, you know what I'm saying? Can you use it in the past tense? Like, yo, we pashed so hard last night. Or can you use it like, yo, that couple right there, they pashing like crazy. I know for a fact I have at least 5 new Australian subscribers. So please step up to the front of the congregation and educate us so I can add some new slang words to my vocabulary. You feel me? Alright, both Grayson and Julia decide to stay. Next up, we got Steve and Rachel. Steve talks about how he fumbled the bag with the whole Love Actually kiss moment, or should I say, the whole Love Actually pash moment. Huh? Yo, Australians, did I use it in the right context? Alright, so yeah, Rach and Steve are in a good place. They both decide to stay. Next up, we got Gia and Scott. And Gia does it back and apologizes. She addresses Alissa and David directly and goes, yesterday my behavior was not okay. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I came at you. And I want you to know that I'm genuinely sorry. John, the expert, doesn't let her off the hook that easy though. He tells her straight up that her behavior was ugly and mean. And it's something that she needs to take on board. And she kind of admits that she was already kind of angry and, you know, kind of in a bad place because she'd been beefing with Scott. And Scott's like, yeah, she verbally abused me, bro. It was not nice. And Gia kind of talks about how she has a tendency to self-sabotage when things are going too good. Now, Gia and Beck are like two sides of the same mean girl coin. But in my opinion, Gia is so much worse. Because deep down, she knows better. She told the experts from day one that she got bullied throughout middle school, throughout high school. So she knows what it feels like to be belittled and mocked and kicked when you're down. She knows what that hurt feels like. But she sat there at that dinner party and let Stella and Alissa have it. She aligned herself with Brooke. And deep down, I'm sure she knows that if they'd gone to the same high school, Brooke would have not been her bestie. Now, Brooke would have been one of the mean girls bullying her, right? Am I wrong? I feel for Scott, man, because my ex was a lot like Gia, and it's frustrating because when you see how mean and cruel they can be, you just want to walk away. Like, I don't like this person. But then you stay because you know that deep down inside them is this hurt little girl, and you know about what they've been through and their trauma, and you've seen how loyal and amazing they can be, right? And if we're being completely honest, okay, we're being adults, keeping it a buck. The Gias of this world, they are insanely good in bed. So you're weak, okay? You stay, okay? You rationalize it and you stay in this toxic relationship, convincing yourself that, hey, the good moments outweigh the bad ones. And it just chips at you little by little till you are a shadow of your former self. Next up, we got Danny and Beck. And yo, Beck is falling apart, bro. She's falling apart on that couch. Tears streaming down her face. And Danny's like, I just don't like the fact that she didn't believe me. I told her I didn't say anything to Gia. I feel like she's broken the trust that we once had. And Beck apologizes. Like, I'm so sorry I didn't believe you. You know what I'm saying? And Danny hugs her like, it's all right. It's all right. I forgive you. Hey, yo, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that didn't sit well with me. Like, it didn't sit well in my spirit. Because if I was Danny, and let's just say I did not make that comment to Gia, I didn't say nothing, and I'm 100% sure I didn't, I still wouldn't blame my partner for thinking I did. Because, yo, we've only known each other for a few weeks. We haven't had time to build up the trust. And it's perfectly understandable that she'd look at a woman like Gia and go, hey, maybe my man wants to hit that, okay? Her insecurities and feelings are valid. It's now my job, right? It's now my job to make her feel secure, to make her feel desired, to level up my physical touch, to unlock new pipe laying skills on a regular, okay? So she's tapping out. You know what I'm saying? And she's lying there like, yo, there ain't no way this dude's not feeling me. Like, yo, there's no way someone who's not into me would do me like that, okay? There's no way someone who doesn't find me attractive would look at me the way he looks at me and spend all this quality time with me. It's my job to make her feel wanted and appreciated. And over time, that trust would just grow organically. But the way Danny's handling this whole thing, it's like he's blaming her for not immediately trusting him. It's like my man's forgotten that just a couple of weeks ago, he told her there was no physical chemistry between them, okay? Flip the tables, bro. Flip the tables. Imagine it was the other way around. Imagine it was Danny that got hooked up with a girl that he was obsessed with from jump. And on the first day of their honeymoon, he lays down the pipe. He's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And he's like the best he's ever had. You feel me? And he's standing in front of the camera, all giddy, like, yo, my wife got that good. She got the best kitty in the world. But then she's like, oh, I'm so disappointed because we just don't have that physical chemistry. And then she goes out swimming without him with a disappointed look on her face. And for the rest of the honeymoon, she doesn't even touch him. Then they have a bit of a breakthrough, they're slowly getting jiggy again. But then she goes out for drinks, okay? And one of the dudes in the experiment is super tall, hench, pecs, abs for days, and he dresses in a way that shows off his physique. And he's having drinks with your girl. You're not there. And then you're at the dinner party, and your girl is having an argument with one of that dude's homies. And he goes, yo, I know what you said on Saturday. Don't make me expose you. And you're like, what did she say on Saturday? And the dude, the good looking dude, is like, yo, don't worry about it, man. Like, it's not that deep. And you're like, no, I want to know what she said. And he goes, oh, listen, man, I didn't want to tell you, bro, but basically your girl told me that I'm her type. You feel me? Like, if we were out in the real world, I'm kind of the guy she'd want to get with. Do you think Danny in that situation would be like, nah, you are lying, okay? You are lying. My girl wouldn't say that, okay? We've got this trust going on. Get out of here, man. So, Gia's watching this whole Danny and Beck thing, and she jumps in like, yo, don't gaslight her, because you did say that to me. And then she says something that makes me believe her story even more. She swears on her daughter, bro. The one thing that's been consistent about Gia throughout this experiment is her daughter is her world. So for her to go, Danny told me I was his type, and I swear on my daughter, that carries a lot of weight. But Beck's like, nope, I don't believe you. I don't believe Gia. The experts are like, yo, but what if Gia was telling the truth? Would you be able to move past it? She's like, nope. They both decide to stay. Okay. Next up, we got Philip and Alissa. Okay. Still the strongest couple in this whole thing. And they're still going strong. And finally, we got Chris and Brooke. Now, Brooke tries to do up the whole apology thing, right? But I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. And thankfully, the experts are not buying it either. And they lay into her. In the last episode, one of the homies in the comments made a very valid point. She went, Brooke was making a big deal about how Chris spoke about women, but then she said a whole lot worse about Stella and Alissa. And yo, the experts agree and they call her out on that. Mel goes in. She goes, listen, in all the years I have been on this show, I have never experienced a woman be so vicious towards other women. It was relentless. Yes, Mel. You tell her, Mel. See, that's what I love about this show, man. Most reality TV shows, the selling point is the drama. It's glasses of wine being chucked in people's faces. It's the production crew holding people back from fighting. Like, hey, let me at him. Let me at him. It's unstable people crying. It's people desperate for their 15 minutes of fame and willing to do whatever. But this show, it hits different because of the experts. These three legends never disappoint. They celebrate with a couple when things are going right. They seem genuinely disappointed when things don't work out. And if someone's acting too ratchet, they tell them exactly what we're all thinking. I'm sure if you're watching this, you already know by now that one of the experts, my favorite expert, Mel Schilling, passed away recently. And yo, I got a little emotional watching this. I got emotional watching just how genuine she was, how angry she was at Brooke. It was beautiful seeing her stand up for Stella and Alissa, making it clear that even though that toxic behavior and drama is good for viewership and clicks, it's not something that she personally stands by. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of all Married at First Sight Australia fans when I say I'm sending my deepest condolences to her family and friends. May she live on through her body of work and through videos like this one. Woo! Got something in my eye. Is someone chopping some onions? You know, someone chopping some garlic? Oh, man. R.I.P. Mel. So, it all gets a bit too much for Brooke, and she goes, I need to pee. And she gets up and walks out, which is super awkward, okay? It's not scripted, not part of the plan, and not part of the format, you know what I'm saying? They didn't even have any cameras set up out there because they didn't expect her to walk out. We're like getting an awkward behind-the-scenes kind of moment with everyone just sitting there like, this is weird. And then John gets a message through his earpiece, and he tells the other experts, like, yo, she's dipped. And they tell Chris, yo, she's not coming back. And yo, it's hard not to feel sorry for the guy. I mean, he came into this whole thing kind of unlikable, super pessimistic, trying to be a villain, ruffle up some feathers and that. But Brooke made him feel like she could be the one. And you know, the experts' feedback, hanging out with the other couples, we saw him grow as a person. Now, you know how it's usually a bad idea to date someone and go, oh, I can change him. I I feel like there's a 0.01% of people who, if you pair them up with the right person, positive environment, they have the capacity for growth and they're able to relearn some things and actually change. I feel like Chris, he might be one of those guys. So it's peace out to Rebecca, peace out to Steve, good riddance to Brooke, and peace out to Chris. So that was the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like the video. It really helps with all that algorithmy stuff. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'll be back with the next joint. Till then, you take care of yourself, fam, because I love you.